At my daughter's school play, my phone buzzed. One message: do not react. Walk out. My pulse stuttered. I glanced up. On stage, amid paper trees and cardboard stars, my daughter stood frozen mid-line, her cue missed, her lips trembling. She held up a hand-painted sign, part of the scenery, I thought. Then I saw it. The words only I could read through the glare: pretend everything's fine. She looked right at me, then, subtly, pointed toward the exit doors. I didn't move, couldn't. 3 rows back, a man stood up slowly. I didn't recognize him. He wore a dark coat, collar high, face half-shadowed. His hand slipped into his pocket. Then, the auditorium doors clicked, loud, final. Someone had locked them, from outside. A hum rippled through the crowd. Parents glanced around, confused, whispering. My daughter's eyes, wide, glassy, never left mine. That was when I knew this wasn't part of the performance. Something had been set in motion long before this night, and I wasn't the one directing it anymore. It started months earlier. Small things, forgotten calls, late meetings, the faint trace of cologne that wasn't mine on her scarf. Mary had always been good at pretending. A soft smile, an absent hand on my shoulder, the practiced warmth of someone rehearsing emotion. Then came the dreams, hers. She'd whisper names in her sleep, one in particular. I'd wake, watch her breathing beside me, and wonder who she was thinking of. I told myself I was imagining it. I told myself marriage gets strange after children. Distance becomes routine. But the distance began to look deliberate. Then, one evening, I picked up her phone by mistake. A message lit the screen before I could stop myself. Just one line. Same hotel, same room. He'll never find out. No name, no timestamp. Just the weight of truth disguised as text. I deleted nothing. I said nothing. But something inside me shifted. Quietly, like a door clicking shut in an empty house. That's when the investigation began. I didn't rage, I observed. Passwords, routes, alibis. Her stories became patterns, her excuses repeated. Every repetition was a thread I pulled gently, methodically. I learned she took lunch breaks longer than she claimed. Visited the same cafe every Thursday. A man always arrived 5 minutes later. I watched from across the street, a coffee untouched in front of me. He looked ordinary. That was the insult. Nothing remarkable, except the ease with which she smiled at him, a softness I hadn't seen in years. I hired no detective. I didn't need one. Cameras, recordings, silent evidence. Every lie archived, every whisper stored. Then the DNA kit, the one I ordered online, unmarked package, hidden under the sink. I told myself it was paranoia. Still, I took the samples, a brush, a toothbrush, a strand of hair from my daughter's pillow. The waiting was the worst part. Pretending at dinner, helping with homework, watching her feed my daughter soup, stroke her hair, smile. That smile became unbearable. Because part of me already knew what the envelope would say. When the results came, I didn't open them right away. They sat on my desk for 2 days. The envelope glared at me like a secret that wanted to be confessed. When I finally unfolded the paper, my eyes didn't move past the first line. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. It was astonishing how calm I felt, like the air had thinned and everything became easier to lift. That night, I waited for her to come home. She walked in humming, kissed my cheek, asked about dinner. I handed her the paper, said nothing. She read it once, then again. Color drained from her face. "It's not what you think," she whispered. I remember the sound of her breath catching, the way her hand shook. I said only one thing: I already know. Then I turned away. The silence that followed was heavier than grief. It was finality made audible. The play was her idea. Our daughter's big night, she'd said, smiling too wide. We should both be there. I went, of course. I wanted to see what performance she'd planned next. Then came the message. Then the locked doors. Chaos rose around us, teachers shouting, phones buzzing, parents panicking. My daughter stood on stage, still frozen. Her eyes, terrified, pleading, shifted toward the man in the coat. He wasn't just any man. He was him, the one from Thursdays. And suddenly it made sense. The secret messages, the urgency. He wasn't her lover anymore. He was her mistake. She'd ended it. He hadn't. He had come for her, for the daughter who wasn't mine. When the police finally broke in, he was already gone. So was she, for questioning, they said, for protection. I waited outside, under the harsh glow of ambulance lights, while my daughter sat wrapped in a blanket, sobbing into her knees. When Mary walked past me hours later, escorted, she wouldn't meet my eyes. I leaned close enough for her to hear me over the noise. "Pretend everything's fine," I said. She froze. That was my revenge. The word she once used to hide the lie, now her sentence to live under it forever. Weeks later, the papers were signed. No arguments, no apologies, just signatures. My daughter lives with me now. She doesn't ask questions about blood or truth. Maybe one day she will. And when she does, I'll tell her everything. Calmly, without anger. She deserves that much honesty, at least. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear the faint echo of applause from that evening. The sound of an audience clapping for a play none of us understood. A story about family, love, and illusion. The curtain fell. The truth remained. I don't dream anymore, but when I do, I see her on that stage again, holding the sign, eyes pleading, hand pointing toward the exit. Only this time, I walk out, and I never look back. Some lies deserve no confrontation, only silence loud enough to bury them alive.